Whenever I thought about the Camino, I imagined like a little track through woods. I'm not quite sure why, maybe I just hadn't seen any pictures, but the reality of what I found was completely different, like millions of tiny little villages and bigger towns, absolutely gorgeous, really, really cute and pretty. I also didn't realise that the weather would be absolutely incredible as it has been. So, you know, it's been a real surprise to find all these beautiful little corners full of charm and interest. So it's just been really, really amazing.
Cuando recibí la invitación para hacer el Camiño Inglés dibujado, la invitación del Xacobeo, empecé a plantearme o a pensar cómo lo iba a hacer. Por un lado tenía dudas porque no sabía si llevar un cuaderno, si llevar formatos grandes. Ese tema le dimos muchísimas vueltas. Al final creo que el camino, para todos los que hacen el camino, también es un reto. Y a mí, a nivel personal, mi reto era hacerlo pintando con formatos grandes y en acrílico.
It was very easy for me to pack my stuff for a drawing trip. All I use is like a big pencil case that you can fit a lot into. What I do is I bring like about 8 or 10 fountain pens. I always use a Fude pen, which means it's got a little bent nib, and it means that you can do really expressive lines. And the reason I have so many pens is because each of them has a different colour. I'm a big person for drawing, and nothing I like better than a beautiful line. So basically I have pens for every colour. Apart from that, I have a tiny little box of watercolour paints of just the highest quality, really amazing watercolours. And I have a selection of brushes. They're travel brushes, so they fold in two to protect the hairs. I have about 3 of those, and then apart from that I have like a big pad of paper and a little sealed container of water. It's fantastic, never spills, never leaks. And I have of course a little mini stool, and of course I couldn't go anywhere without my bulldog clips for stopping the paper flapping in the wind.
He tirado de formatos muy grandes, de lo más grande que he podido, porque me lo he pasado muy bien pintando. Pero sí que es cierto que el tema de llevar acrílico implica estar muy pendiente. Eso quiere decir, es un poco contradictorio. Por un lado tienes que pensar mucho para planear un poco los colores que vas a hacer servir y cómo organizar el material, y por otro no pensar demasiado porque hay que usar el material que tienes en la paleta, porque si no se seca. Eso a mí me divierte mucho, porque por un lado analizo qué colores quiero usar y hago un poco también esa reinterpretación en mi cabeza, puesto que a veces no uso el color local, sino que utilizo el color sintético. Luego, en muchos casos, en la mayoría, he utilizado un caballete, que a veces eso es un problema porque hemos ido a localizaciones que hacían mucho viento, y el caballete con un cartón doblado que me permitía tener una base bastante grande. Eso a veces también ha sido como una vela de un barco que salía volando, entonces he tenido que estar pendiente porque algún que te dibujo he temido que igual no llegaba, pero llegó.
The first subject that I came across was the Iglesia de Santiago in La Coruña. It was a really nice subject to start with because drawing churches is nice, but they can be quite fiddly. This one was built out of massive heavy blocks of granite. So it meant that, and they were a lovely colour, all little shades of like yellow ochre and kind of pinky honey colours. And it was a lovely subject, it fitted nicely on my page. That is not always the case. I found myself a lovely little spot on a steep hill, and everyone who passed, they just wanted to chat about what was I doing, and it was very nice, really, really friendly, really, really nice, and of course the weather was just perfect. So it was a great experience for my first time.
Los que dibujamos nos pasa que a veces hay sitios súper bonitos que parece que va a ser el sitio ideal y que igual tú no estás tan bien como para dibujar. A nivel personal, yo dibujé muy bien en el molino de Asaceñas porque tuve un momento de muchísima paz. Y además, bueno, pasaron cosas medio mágicas, ¿no? Y esas cosas también me encantó estar allí. Hacía viento, pero estaba muy tranquila, tal. Luego, a nivel de, por ejemplo, Betanzos, me encantó los rincones que tiene, me encantó el río, la riqueza de verdes, fue increíble.
I guess I have two favourites of my trip here so far. It would be a tie between my drawing of traditional boats in Ferrol, which I really enjoyed doing, partly because I love all the lines, partly because the shapes of the boats were beautiful. But I got to use my two favourite colours, browns and blues. I painted it all in browns and then I threw on the shadows in blue afterwards. And it was a real pleasure to do. It's always great fun putting on the shadows afterwards. You have to kind of do them all at once so that they match. And then the other one that I really enjoyed doing was the people on the beach. There's nothing quite like sitting on the beach, you know, in a nice and warm afternoon, you've had a swim and you're drawing people just relaxing, chilling, and they're all just doing their thing, chatting to each other, gossiping. So it's really good fun, I love that.
Hacer el camino con Roisin ha sido genial. Ella y yo ya nos conocíamos de algún otro encuentro anterior y está muy bien porque ella es muy divertida, conectamos mucho a nivel de carácter, es decir, que también estamos un poco locas, pero en plan divertido, y porque nos pasa que yo miro su trabajo y digo, ¡ay, qué chulo! Qué bien lo hace, ¿no? Qué perfecto, porque yo como soy todo lo contrario. Y Royce me dice, ¡ay, me gusta tu trabajo! Quiero ser como tú. O sea, que un poco siempre está, yo creo que es muy sano pensar que puedes aprender mucho del otro, ¿no? Y eso es muy interesante, porque vuelves con cosas nuevas, ¿no? Cuando regresas a casa y te vuelves a poner a pintar.
Drawing side by side with Maru has been a huge inspiration. Her work is just incredible. I suppose the funny thing is when I saw her leaving out things and adding things, you know, I nearly basically had a heart attack with nerves, but then I realised, hey, you don't have to draw everything you see. So for me that was a kind of a growth thing. I suppose that even though on the face of it our two styles are completely different to look at, there's one big thing, and it's a very important thing we have in common. We both try to capture the spirit of what we're looking at. We both try to elevate, I can't say really elevate what we're looking at through art because it's already beautiful. But I think that we definitely interpret it in a way that's unique to each of our personalities. So I would say that I'm very excited to go home and whip out the acrylics and basically try to do a Maru on my work. So no, it's been amazing. It's been a real inspiration and I have to say a real privilege to work side by side with such an incredible artist.
Recomendaría el Camiño Inglés, por supuesto, sin lugar a dudas. Es una experiencia genial por la variedad de localizaciones, lo encuentro muy divertido, lo encuentro no es monótono. Puedes encontrar siempre rincones diferentes, la gente es súper amable, todo el mundo está dispuesto a ayudar, todo el mundo se interesa, todo el mundo te cuenta. La gente además cuando te ve pintando se pone a tu lado, te da conversación, te ayuda si necesitas algo, es decir que en ese sentido también es muy importante como experiencia, ¿no? Sentir que estás allí, ¿no? Que estás de peregrino de otra manera porque estás pintando, pero la gente incluso te recibe muy bien, ¿no? Porque les encanta que estés allí.
Okay, so I suppose the thing that made the biggest impression on me was the fact that all these people are walking along the Camino and they're just putting their heart and soul into it. They're, you know, really, a lot of them are suffering. You know, you can see them sometimes with blisters and so on, but they're like really dedicated, and that's really impressive. I suppose the other thing is to meet the locals. they're never too fed up with answering people's questions, answering tourists' questions, helping them take photos. That made a big impression. They're just so chilled out, so relaxed, so warm, so welcoming. So for me, I just think it's a magical part of the world, and I'm really looking forward to bringing my family with me. I'd say they'd love it.